my name is Alicia Ponce, and I am today's Inspired Latina, Volume 6, European Edition. And here is my story. A Purposeful Journey by Alicia Ponce Núñez. They wanted to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. As an architect, I believe that every human being should have access to clean air and water, sunlight, a breeze, and a cozy corner to call their own. Architecture has the power to provide all of that through forms, patterns, and colors. With technology rapidly evolving, we have the ability to do things like create materials that store solar energy instead of relying on fossil fuels to heat or cool a building. We can also use alternative environmentally friendly materials in lieu of plastics that end up in landfills and ultimately pollute our oceans. Now more than ever, I believe in what I do. Humanity is facing a global climate crisis, and we have the tools and resources to make it better for our immediate future and generations to come. Starting a business was never on the radar for me, but now I am an entrepreneur on a mission. When I think about it, my destiny as an architect was a long time in coming. A born architect. When I was 7 years old, I knew that I wanted to be an architect. I have always considered myself a very inquisitive person, and my love for art and architecture fed my curiosity to learn more about how things were made and explore the many different ways to bring comfort and joy to a person in their space. As a child, I had a pen pal who happened to be my great-uncle, Chencho. He was a priest who lived in Rome. In my letters, I would ask him to describe the buildings to me in every detail. He always described them as very, very old. I yearned to know more, and he talked to me about the historic architecture. These letters may have been the seeds that were planted in me to dream of one day study in Europe. I am eternally thankful to my parents and my wonderful family role models. To this very day, I hear my mother in one ear saying, "Soar as high as you want. You can do anything." In the other ear, I hear my father telling me, "I didn't think you would turn out so smart." He supported my every idea, even if he didn't quite get it. Growing up, I also felt a strong connection with nature. My parents would drive me and my siblings to the state of Michoacán in Mexico to visit our family. I didn't realize it then, but those summers gave me the freedom to enjoy nature up close. I can close my eyes anytime and visualize the winding roads through the green mountains, the fields of sugarcane, the fishermen sailing in Lake Pátzcuaro, and of course, the monarch butterflies floating above my head. In 1981, we actually lived there for 1 year. I remember staying in bright, colorful adobe houses and being completely immersed in beautiful landscapes of trees and calming streams. When we returned to Illinois, we moved to Summit, just 20 minutes southwest of downtown Chicago. Back then, it was predominantly a white neighborhood, and sometimes Mexican families in the park with their children received not so friendly remarks. I had to relearn English at the age of 8. To my horror, the ESL teacher would often hit us and make me cry by giving me coscorrones on my head for moving my lips while silently reading. I thought the only one in the school that was one of us, a Mexican with dark complexion, was such a witch. Believe me when I say that I learned as quickly as I could and was in the honor roll every year after that. It is a firm belief in oneself and the willingness to step into the unknown that will lead you to your chosen path. So, if you watch and listen closely, the doors will open. I even look for windows. In high school, I was a model student and athlete, and I was sure I was on the right path towards architecture. When it came time to apply for college, in the days before Google and the World Wide Web, I took the next step and sat down with my counselor to talk about schools, specifically the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. The school had a great reputation for architecture majors, and most importantly, it had a study abroad program to Versailles, France. To my big surprise, the conversation with the counselor was not what I expected. I cannot even remember his name, but I remember sitting in his office, looking to him as a trusted advisor to talk about my application to my first choice school. Instead, he put the local community college application in front of me and said, "Why don't you start here? And in 2 years, you can transfer." I wasn't upset that he was handing me this application. I was upset that he wouldn't even let me try, even though I had the grades to prove that I could succeed there. I walked away feeling confused and unsupported. I wanted to attend the University of Illinois very badly, but he told me that the school would be too challenging for me. Lucky for me, Mr. Johnson was in my world. He was my English teacher and saving grace who helped me through the whole college application process and wrote an amazing letter of recommendation. Because of his support, I was accepted into the University of Illinois Architecture School, studied in Versailles, and traveled throughout Europe while there. The experience with the counselor was one of many that would remind me of the old Mexican proverb, "They wanted to bury us, they didn't know we were seeds." I knew I was a seed, and also that my gender nor my ethnicity would be a roadblock to my dreams. Instead, they were building blocks to endless possibilities. This belief was not always clear to me, but it was always living inside of me. I know this because with every setback or disappointment I have faced, I was being prepared for something bigger. In the long run, the way a person responds to difficult times is what matters most. When life throws you rotten tomatoes, make compost. Lead designer. In the summer of 2006, I was working in a small boutique firm that was building McMansions in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. I was hired as their green building and lead design specialist, which was something that I had developed a passion for over the past 10 years and had longed to do at my past 3 employers. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, and it is an internationally recognized building rating system which certifies buildings that have been designed to be healthy, highly efficient, and sustainable for the environment. In my time at the firm, there was only one client who ever inquired about LEED. Through my years of independent research, I was ready to do very transformative work. I just needed an opportunity. Unfortunately, all I ever did was prepare drawings for porch repairs to bring buildings up to code while working at the small firm. Although it was work, it was not the type of work I was promised, nor the type that inspired me to go to work every day and call myself an architect. I was there for 1 year when I was called into my supervisor's office. To my surprise, I was laid off. Their aspiring green building design specialist was kicked to the curb just like that. I honestly had no words for what I was feeling. I was hurt, but looking back on it now, it was a timely kick in the pants I needed. Little did I know that the residential bubble was about to burst across the nation. I remember going back to my desk to gather my things. I said goodbye to my coworkers who had become my friends. One of them in particular, who I still keep in touch with, said to me with conviction, "Alicia, don't worry. And remember, anything is possible." With that, like a light bulb turning on over my head, I remembered the single client that came into the office to talk about LEED. I grabbed my bag, my coat, and his contact information. When I got home, I laid on my bed and stared at the ceiling for a long time, asking myself if I could call the number, if I should call the number. I basically had to get myself pepped up for the call. I didn't have a plan. All I had was a strong desire to build green buildings. I had no kids and I was single. The only responsibility I had was me and my mortgage. So with that, I made the call. Within 4 weeks, I had rented my condo on Michigan Avenue, sold my car, and moved into my aunt's living room. I founded my business AP Monarch on June 4th in 2007. That fall, I was traveling to New Orleans as a lead designer and sustainability consultant for my first mid-rise multifamily condominium building. I was meeting with the council members of the city of New Orleans to talk to them about the revitalization of the city through sustainable design and high-performance buildings. I also had secured a couple of more contracts in Chicago and started teaching sustainability at Columbia College. I was living the dream. Then, the housing market finally crashed in 2008, putting a complete halt to my projects and my fat paychecks. This setback taught me not to put all my eggs in one basket. Luckily, I was still living in my aunt's living room and was still single with no kids. Latina architect. Long gone are the days of living with my aunt and hearing her tell me I was building character. Now I am living on cloud 9 with my husband and kids. Cesar and I met soon after I established AP Monarch. Since the beginning, he has unconditionally supported my often unpredictable journey as an entrepreneur and architect. He is my Zen. Without him, I would not be able to soar as high and in as many directions as I do. The year 2019 marked my 12th year as a Latina entrepreneur who focuses on sustainability and resilient architecture. It is something that I wholeheartedly believe in and love doing. Being a Latina in a white male-dominated industry has its share of experiences, from meeting lifelong mentors who give you wings to disappointingly being caught in Me Too moments. Either way, I take these experiences and use them as building blocks to a chosen path. I am one of only 20% of female licensed architects and less than 1% of Latina architects nationwide. The numbers get astoundingly smaller when you look at the number of female Latina architects who own a business. This motivates me to say yes to as many invitations from school career days to larger business professional settings. I'm here to answer as many questions that come my way to help guide the younger generation. 12 years in business have given me the absolute joy of working with people both locally and internationally who are making a difference in the world and continue to build a healthier place for our children like the one I was able to enjoy as a child. Just as the monarch butterfly fearlessly and resiliently travels across borders, I too am ready to make a bigger impact. Reflection questions. 1. What is stopping you from getting what you want? 2. What are you most grateful for? 3. When you fail, because you will, how will you turn those failures into valuable building blocks for your chosen path? Biography. My name is Alicia Ponce and I am the founder and principal of AP Monarch, an architecture and design firm with a passion for sustainability. I founded the company in 2007 and since then completed numerous LEED and Living Building Challenge certified projects. The company's diverse portfolio includes notable clients as the Field Museum, Midway International Airport, University of Chicago, and the Exelon Corporation. AP Monarch was the primary sustainability consultant for the University of Chicago's Keller Center, Harris School of Public Policy, which has earned the highest level of green building certification, the first time on campus, LEED Platinum and Living Building Challenge Materials Petal. AP Monarch's reputation and role on sustainability brought the opportunity to work directly as a protege of Santiago Calatrava and his firm's design proposal for the O'Hare International Airport Global Terminal. I am an alumnus of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I am very proud to be among the 20% of licensed female architects in the U.S. and among the less than 1% who are Latina. I also enjoy doing theater. I've done theater in the past and have performed as an ensemble member with Aguijón Theater and participating in riveting stage productions from Chicago to Bogotá, Colombia. Thank you.